This next page we're covering is page number 12, beginning with number 12. Okay, the equation that is given to you is y plus 8 multiplied by 2y to the third plus y minus 5. And they want to know which of the following, A, B, C, D, is equivalent to this. So we see variables in the answer choices, therefore, plug in a number, okay? So let's just say y equals 2. We always start with 2. So I'm just going to do the math up here real quick, okay? 2 plus 8, okay? And then we put 2 here. Actually, I'm going to do the math down here, or to the side here. 2 plus 8. And that's going to be multiplied by 2 times 2 to the third plus 2 minus 5. Okay, so I just substituted 2 into all of this stuff right here. This is going to turn out to be times 10. And then this right here is going to be 2 to the third power. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is, 16 plus 2 is 18. 18 minus 5 is 13. Remember, there's, actually, you can use your calculators on this section, but right now I don't have a calculator in front of my face, so I'm doing it in my head, okay? So if you multiply 10 and 13, you're going to get 130. So that's our answer. We need to search high and low through A, B, C, D by plugging in y into the answer choices, which one comes out to the same number. So if you start at A, you have to go 2y to the fourth plus 16y to the third plus y squared minus 3y minus 40. And if you did that on your calculator, because you can use a calculator, this will equal 118. That's if you plugged this number 2 into all of these to find out the match. That is not a match made in heaven. Okay, they're breaking up. So this one is going to be the answer. 2y to the fourth plus 16y to the third plus y squared plus y squared plus 3y minus 40. If you plug the 2 into that, it will equal 130, and then you will get a match made in heaven. Super easy, right? All you had to do was choose a number, you plug it in, and then find the match. But the rest of the students in your class that are not taking SAT prep would not know how to do a question like this. They'd probably freak out, but you know how to do it now. Okay, so please memorize that. Number 14. Seems difficult, but is not difficult at all. Okay, so number 14. It says the power in watts P is generated by a certain electric circuit depends on the current in amperes I and can be modeled by the equation P equals 20I minus 3 squared plus 180. And it says that the I has to be greater than 3. Okay, so if the I has to be greater than 3, I'm just going to go I equals 4. Okay, so I'm going to plug in my own number because if you look at A, B, C, D, you see the variables there. And I know that I has to be greater than 3, so I'm going to say I equals 4. That's the number that I'm choosing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I need to find out what is P, right? In the end, they want to know what is P. So let me plug in my I into this and figure it out. Easy. 20 times 4 minus 3 squared plus 180. Oh, how perfect. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 20 is 20. 20 plus 180 is 200. Okay? So now I know that I'm aiming to get that 200. So which of the following gives you a value of this? But when you go to the answer choices, you don't see 200, right? You see all these different scary looking things that have a P. So I'm just going to take my P that I got and I'm going to figure it out. And if it equals the I that I got, then I know that I got the right answer. Okay, so to not waste time, well actually if I want to waste a little bit of time, I'll just do A. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this doesn't work. 5 times P minus 180. So we know that P is 200, right? So I'm going to plug my 200 in, and if this does work and equal 4, then I'll know that that's my answer. But if you take 200 and plug it in, 200 excuse me, minus 180 is 20. 20 times 5 is 100. Okay, and then the square root of 100 is what? 10. Times 2 is 20 plus 3. That's way too big. Okay, I need to get 4. 4 does not equal this. So that's why you know A is not the answer. I'm going to take you guys straight to the answer. The answer is I equals 3 plus half square root P minus 180 over 5. Now, some of you guys are like, what the heck? That looks too crazy. Okay, but this will be the answer. I'll promise you. Let's show you how, okay? P is 200. You take 200 and you plug it in right there, okay, into the P. So 200 minus 180 over 5 square root, that's 200 minus 80 is 20. 20 over 5 is 4. Okay, so this equals 20 over 5. And that's going to equal square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? It is 2, right? So there's already a half here. So it's going to be multiplied by 2. And remember, there's like a 1 underneath there. So the half I just brought down, we're not messing with that. This whole thing right here ended up just being 2. Okay? So now I need to add that with the 3. Okay, so look. This cross cancels to a 1. So all of this is just a 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Is I 4? Yes, it is. And that is why C is your answer. Okay? All right, the next one is going to be number 17. And just because there's a graph does not mean that it is a difficult question. Totally doable. I'm not going to rewrite the whole graph, but I just want you guys to see. I'll just do this. 1, 6. On this side is 2, 8, 3, 10, 4, 13, 5, 16, blah, blah, blah. That's your graph that you have in front of you, right? It says for homework assignment, Shapur is given the table above and asked to write a function relating the weight of a hammer. So this one is the model. That's the model number. And then right over here is the weight of the hammer. And that's going to be the function W of M to the model number of the hammer M. So already there, some of you guys are like, oh my God, I hate functions. I hate my life. I don't know how to do this. Just stick with me. You'll see how easy it is. It says if the function Shapur writes is, so they give it to you, Wm equals 3m plus 1, for which the following ranges of model numbers is his function valid. So what you would do is, if you look at A, it says 1 to 3, right? If you put 1 in here for M, okay, what you want to do, because this is the model numbers. These are the model numbers, so that's the number that you put in right here and that you would plug in right here. And would it equal whatever it coincides with? This one is supposed to say 6. So if I take a number like 1 and I plug it in here, 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, it equals 4, right? But if you look at your graph, when you plug in the model number 1, I'm going to show you where, right? Model 1, it says 6. Okay, so that one is not correct. And if 1 doesn't work, all of them do not work. So you just plug it in. The next one is 4 to 6. Okay, so try it out. 3, and then the 4 is going to be the M, right? Times 4 plus 1. That's 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay, look here. 4. When you put in the 4, then it goes to 13. Do you guys get that? So that one does work. And then, so you know that this one works, but let's just see and check the other one, 7 through 9. Let's just try number 7. If you were to replace the 3 times the 7 plus that, it would be 21 plus 1 is 22. When we put in the 7, we're supposed to get 23, but we got 22, so this one does not work. Okay, and so on and so forth. B is the correct answer. Super easy. And then the last one now is going to be number 20. Okay, number 20 gives you this expression, x squared plus 10x plus 15 can be factored into. So when it says it can be factored into, I want you to understand that that basically means it's equal to. So this whole thing is equal to then x plus 4 times x plus 5 plus z. Okay? They want to know what is z. In the end, we need to find what is z. Okay, so all we got to do is plug in because we see answers in the variables, or variables in the answer choices. So we know that these are equal to one another, correct? So if we say that A is, so we know that these basically are equal to one another, right? And if we equal them to one another, we'll be able to find out what Z is, since that's going to be the only variable that's left over, because we're going to plug all the 2's into all the x's. So in this case, let's just say x is 2. That's the number that we're going to plug in because we always start with the easiest one. Let's plug it in now. This is going to be 2 squared. 2 is going to go there, so times 10 times 2. That's going to be regular 15. This is going to equal 2 goes right there. 2 plus 4 times the 2. We're going to put right there. 2 plus 5 plus z. And we want to find what the z is. Okay? So this is going to become 4. 2 squared is 4 plus 10 times 2 is 20, and then plus a 15. And this is going to be 6. 2 plus 4 is 6 multiplied by 7. 2 plus 5 is 7 plus z. All right, so right over here, this is going to be 42 plus z. And on this side, 20 plus 15 is 35 plus 4 is going to be 39. Right? Okay, yeah, 39. You can use a calculator for this section. Okay, so how do you find out what z is? You got to subtract, because it's a plus sign here, not a multiplication. We have to subtract out the 42. That's going to be a 0 minus 42. And so z is going to equal -3. That is our answer. Okay, and now we got to search for the number -3. And if you go to C, answer C, it is x minus 5. X minus 5 is our 2. 2, plug the 2 in. 2 minus 5 equals -3. Match made in heaven. And we're done.